This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, how there, ho there. It's Jeff Cutterdime welcoming you to another Sports Catastrophe birthday boy. Oh no, it's not a birthday boy yet. It's a birthday girl, and she's alive. Yes, she is one of the most unbelievable tennis players of all time. She's 80 years old today, July 16th. She was the former world number one. She's won 24 major titles in women's tennis. She's the only one to have more titles than Serena Williams. She won many Grand Slam. She won 19 Grand Slam women's doubles and 21 mixed doubles titles. That's amazing. Anyway, she became the first woman in 1970 during the Open era to win the singles Grand Slam. Hard, clay, grass, and carpet. Her all surfaces winning percentage was 91%. So she won the Grand Slam in 1970, all the major titles in 1 year. She has a 91% Open era singles career winning percentage. And in Grand Slam finals, she was 11-1 in the Open era. Now to explain, the Open era was made in 1968 in tennis. You had to be a professional. If you were a professional tennis player, you were in the majors. If you were an amateur, you would have amateur titles, but you couldn't get any money for winning a Grand Slam. So in 1968, they decided to change it, making it an open era so that everyone can play. But you have to qualify, obviously. But this person's win-loss performance at all Grand Slam singles tournaments, 90%. Can you believe it? 9 out of 10 Grand Slam matches she played, she won. 95% at the Australian Open. Well, she's from Australia. 89.8% at the French Open, 85% at Wimbledon, and 89% at the US Open. Court ended up Margaret Smith Court. I guess I should say it now. Margaret Smith Court is her name. She had 11 Australian Open wins, which was the most at one Grand Slam, men or women, until Rafa Nadal's 12th French Open title in 2019. Margaret Smith Court won every Grand Slam title, the singles, doubles, and mixed doubles, and all that. She was one of the best ever. Margaret Smith Court became a Christian minister in 1991, and is a minister in Perth, Australia. So her career was huge and all that. Her career was massive. She was born in New South Wales, and she was 18 in 1960 when she won the first of 7 straight Australian singles titles. And she actually won abroad. She won the French and US Open in 1962, became the first Australian woman to win Wimbledon in 1963. She's won 64 Grand Slams over the disciplines of singles, doubles, and mixed doubles. Court decided to retire in 1966 and then would marry Barry Court, whose father and brother were premiers of Western Australia, like the premier of Western Australia, kind of like the premier of Ontario, like our province. She came back to tennis in November 1967 and won all 4 Grand Slam titles in 1970. She actually ended up losing the Wimbledon singles final to Yvonne Gugalon, who is a fellow Australian and Aborigine. And that was the only time that Smith Court lost a Grand Slam final. Amazing. Serena doesn't even have that mark. But she was pregnant with her first child, Daniel, which was born in March 1972. After having Daniel, she made a comeback playing in the US Open and throughout 1973. Her second child was born in 1974, Marika. Then she came back to tennis. She had her third child in 1976. And in 1977, she had her fourth child. Her last Grand Slam singles appearance was the 75 US Open. So Margaret Smith Court, as I said, one of 3 players, to achieve a box set of Grand Slam titles, winning every possible Grand Slam title: singles, doubles and mixed doubles. No man has ever won it. Smith Court joined Doris Hart and Martina Navratilova in that thing. Margaret Smith Court unfortunately got beaten heavily by Bobby Riggs in the first battle of the sexes, on CBS on Mother's Day, 1973. A lot of people said that Court did not take the match seriously because it was an exhibition. Well, she lost 6-2, 6-1 thanks to Riggs using the lobs and drop shots factor. Riggs embarrassed Smith Court. And that's what got Billie Jean King so worked up. She decided to face Bobby Riggs. And perfectly put, she made him like a twat. Anyway, that was for the Battle of the Sexes. Margaret Smith Court has a arena named after her, like a tennis center. Short Court 1 in 2003 was called Margaret Court Arena for the Australian Open. The only issue is that they want the name to be changed because of court statements against gay and lesbian rights. Fair enough. I mean, she's in the ministry. So anyway, she was a dominant tennis player in both the open and the amateur areas and all that. But her commitment to fitness training was huge. She did weights, she circuit trained, and she ran alongside sandy hillsides. And she was basically injury free. Court won 62 Grand Slams, of course, singles, women's doubles, and mixed doubles. She was 82% in singles finals, 57% in doubles finals, and 82% in mixed doubles finals. But why did it say? Oh, in the open era, right? Post 68, right? So she was amazing. In Grand Slam singles tournament, she was in 47 of them. 43 times she got to the quarterfinals. Reaching the semis 36 times in the final 29. So it's amazing and all that. Court is the only player to win the Grand Slam in both singles and mixed doubles. She actually won the mixed doubles Grand Slam in 1963 with Ken Fletcher, winning all the majors with the same male partner. She actually ended up winning the mixed doubles Grand Slam in 65 with 3 different partners: Fletcher, John Newcomb, and Fred Stolle. So she did everything correctly. She did all that. So she had a lot of honors. Court was actually raised as a Roman Catholic, but became involved in the Pentecostal church in the 70s. And in 91, she was ordained as an independent Pentecostal minister and founded Margaret Smith Court Ministries. She's still the senior pastor at the Victory Life Center in Perth. She actually established a community service to help supply 25 tons of food each week to Western Australia. Unfortunately, controversy would hit her because of being a critic of LGBT rights and same-sex marriage in Australia. So anyway, Court was very much given a lot of problem thing. So anyway, yeah, so let's look at her. Let's look at her Grand Slam singles wins. Australia, she won 11 times, 60 through 66, so she won 7 in a row. She didn't compete in the 67 for final for some tournament for some strange reason. Then she won in 69, 70, 71, 73. The French Open, she won in 62, 64, 69, 70, 73. Wimbledon, 63, 65, 1970. And the US Open 5 times, 62, 65, 69, 70, 73. So she did, oh well, a lot of records. And women's doubles, she won the Australian Open women's doubles 8 times, 61, 62, 63, 65, 69, 70, 71, 73. French Open doubles 64, 65, 66, and 73. Wimbledon 64, 69, and the US Open 63, 68, 73. I'm missing one. 63, 68, 70, 73, 75. Okay. So she has a lot of records. Grand Slam singles titles. She has 24. She's the all-time leader, man or woman. Overall title 64, with the doubles and all that. She stands alone for mixed doubles titles with 21. She had the Grand Slam. Only one of 3 women, Maureen Connolly and Steffi Graf, were the other 2. She did the mixed doubles Grand Slam not only once, but twice. She's the only one to do that, I think. So, she's the Australian Open champion for Grand Slam singles titles, man or woman, with 11. And Grand Slam wins in Australia overall. She won 8 out of 9 Grand Slams in a span between 1969 and 1971. Steffi Graf's the only one to have done that, and that was 88, wasn't she? And from 1960 to 1977, she never lost in the first round of a Grand Slam. That's like, what the hell? Thanks. So yeah, she has tons of records. I don't want to go too long and be long-winded, but Margaret Smith Court is the queen of women's tennis. Believe it. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.